So this video is called Dun Dun Dun. Ana makes massive prediction about 2028. Let's see what she says.
Because I actually want to kind of get myself on record saying what I think is going to happen in 2028.
Interesting.
Big prediction. So without further ado,
can't wait.
Let's get into it.
I heard that speech, and by the time I finished listening to it, I thought to myself, he's going to run for president.
No, that's literally the last thing on my mind.
Really?
Like, I would never do that.
I asked Tucker Carlson a question he didn't expect while I appeared on his podcast, and I thought his full answer was, well, interesting. What about you, Cenk?
Yeah, I don't believe him. So it's okay. Look, guys.
This video is about how Tucker Carlson is going to run for president. That's a massive prediction.
I can see Carlson having a route to becoming
I could see
something like that, but
I could see Tucker Carlson running for president. I could see that.
Most of the internet knows I'm not in the camp of purity tests, and so the fact that Tucker Carlson has a correct position on Israel is wonderful. And it's in the speech that Ana was referring to.
So we should support him for president.
if you are against Palestine, is it the bar? You just need to be against Israel to fucking run for president.
Bro, this video
this guy's fucking rotted mind. It is.
This video is, we have a massive announcement about 2028. And Ana gets on and she's like, my huge announcement prediction is that I think Tucker Carlson is going to run. And Cenk goes on and says, no, I'm not into purity tests, but, you know, he is against Zionism. It's like, he's also a fascist, right? Like, a broken clock can be right.
Yeah, but when he says Zionist, when Tucker Carlson says Zionist, does he mean Jews or does he mean like Zionists?
I think who knows? It's Tucker Carlson, dude.
And which does Cenk subscribe to, given his nephew?
I think Cenk is... Oh, are you going to get us in trouble again?
No, I'm tired of that shit.
Now, let's give you the exchange I had with Tucker with more context so you get a sense of what I'm talking about. Take a look.
I heard that speech, and by the time I finished listening to it, I thought to myself, he's going to run for president. That was a presidential
She's sucking him so hard here, dude.
speech.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's literally the last thing on my mind.
Really?
Like, I would never do that. No, I mean, unless I was like told by a higher power or something, but no.
I would never run for president. Really? Well, unless God told me to do it.
But also, like, isn't that tradition to like always say, no, I'm not running?
True. Did you see fucking Kamala on Stephen Colbert's show?
No.
Okay.
Is it recent?
Did you see the new book?
No, probably not.
About her campaign?
Is it called Shafted?
It's called 107 Days. It's yeah, the length of her campaign. She wants to run again. That can't happen, right? It can't be Kamala,
would not be surprised
dude.
if she runs again because she wants a real shot at being president.
So basically she goes on and says, I'm not running for governor of California. So it's going to be like Newsom, Kamala. I want Walz, but I don't know. AOC I like obviously I would prefer her to any of the other ones that we've talked about. But I don't think the ones we just mentioned, Pritzker, Newsom, Kamala. Maybe I would prefer Walz to AOC actually. That would be great. Like if AOC was president, I just don't think it's going to happen. I honestly don't think,
It'll never happen.
Well, maybe it can happen.
If it does, she'll be like 60 something.
It'll happen a few elections down the line. She's not that much older than we are, I don't think. She's like under 40.
No, I know, but like the current state of American politics, I don't see her ever winning.
Well, I mean, do you think a woman could win at all in America?
I felt like they could have won with Kamala. Not that she'd be a great person or her campaign was any good, but I thought Kamala had a decent shot.
Yeah, bro, but like going forward though, do you think right now,
I feel like we've been set back like a good 40 years before we see a woman president.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Pete Buttigieg, which first of all, I'm not a huge Buttigieg fan, but people want him to run and he's good on the mic, but he's also gay and America is never going to elect a gay president. And I say that as a gay, I just don't think it's going to happen. Like it's not something we can do right now. Obviously it shouldn't be this way. And a woman, a gay man, a gay woman even, a transgender Muslim, like everyone should be able to run
Specifically a
for-
transgender Muslim.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying, like, of all these different groups of possibilities, I tried to think of the most inflammatory thing for, people who would
Well,
care.
Mamdani won the primary, assuming he doesn't get deported by fucking Trump.
Yeah, Mamdani, I believe, is an immigrant, so he is ineligible to run for president, which I think is bullshit. I think immigrants should be allowed to run for president if you're a citizen, especially if you've spent most of your life here.
And if you're qualified.
That's what's most important, ideally. But I don't think America is going to elect a gay president, a female president.
What about an ace president?
Definitely not. Never. Never going to happen. We need a straight, white, cisgender,
Who fucks
Christian with a wife and kids,
and continues to fuck.
family
Like
man.
Biden claims he does.
Yeah. What?
Biden was like, they're like, oh, like, what's the secret to like a long marriage? And he's like, frequent sex every night
Jesus.
to this day.
Bro, did you watch the Hunter Biden thing?
No.
The interview? You
Oh.
didn't?
I saw people reacting to it, but I wasn't really paying attention to it.
It's so good.
He looks and sounds just like Biden, though.
I almost signed up to that guy's Patreon just to see the second one. Back to this.
I don't think I'm suited for that. First, I don't want that. I have a lot of happiness and balance in my life. I have a huge family. I'm the oldest male in that family, so I feel like that I have a lot of things I'm paying attention to. I have dogs who I really love. So no, like nothing about that
I'm the oldest male
I
in
have
the
dogs.
family.
at all. And I've never had any
Perhaps.
political ambition of any kind, and I have even less now.
So maybe you guys can all critique me for my selective hearing, but I only heard one part in his answer, and this is the part I'm referring to.
No, I mean, unless I was like
told by a higher power or something.
Yeah, Anna, that's what I heard too. And do you know what I heard? Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. In that whole monologue of bullshit that he gave you, that was the most bullshittiest of it all. Because it was about God telling him to run for president, which is the most full of bullshit thing that anyone has ever said in the history of existing. Right? Like, that's why in the whole diatribe of bullshit, that's the thing that catches your attention. It's the most bullshit of all the bullshit in there.
He's going to run for president, Cenk. He's going to run for president. It's so obvious to me. He is. He's going to do
So
it.
look, he these days he's very focused on his faith, and so
Yes.
that
He's focused on his faith. I'm sure. All right. So, Mute here. Are we in agreement that at some point between now and 2028, Tucker Carlson's journey of faith is going to lead to him running for president?
Yeah.
What year do you think that's going to happen? Is that going to be this year, 2026, 2027, or 2028? I think 2027 is the year.
It entirely depends on whether or not Trump goes for a third term.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right.
And if
It
JD
could-
Vance is running afterwards.
Bro, it could be like God told me to run to stop Trump, right? Like he could do that kind of thing.
Yeah, he could, but he would also be excised from the... how is he with MAGA? Is he like still a thing who they care about or no?
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
So, and then I want to talk in a little bit about his potential competition on the Republican side and then the Democratic side. But look, as an atheist, I don't get that out of like, well, if God tells me later, okay.
Good for Cenk, I guess. You passed. You passed that basic test, okay?
But the thing I do get is this country's in trouble, and our politicians, 98% of them are corrupt. So this is where we're having this strange agreement with right-wing populists and left-wing populists, right? Because
Here's another reason why it's better to have liberal democracy than left-wing populism. I think I've said this before on one of the videos, but I don't know. Liberal democracy isn't just majority rules, right? It's very much that there are like safeguards and institutions, because what's even more important than the democracy part is that everyone has like liberal rights and that we protect everyone's rights, even when the majority of people want to take them away, right? Like minority rights are really important in liberal democracies. So I guess when Cenk's trying to put all this, left-wing populism and right-wing populism, which I think right-wing populism is kind of bullshit. I think that that's like a bad thing to bond over, because that's just tyranny of the majority. And if the majority is just a bunch of ignorant people who believe in misinformation, then we're really fucked. You could say like Trump was a populist. At least he was electorally a populist. And I just feel like that's what populism leads to inevitably, is the erasure of individual rights.
and I'm against. But Otherwise he's accurately assessing the same problem we're seeing,
Yes,
right?
yep.
Housing prices, drug prices, lower wages, the average American getting crushed. My assessment is corporate rule. Corporate rule is taking over our government, and the donor class is taking over
Right.
governments, corporations
Yes.
plus now foreign governments, right? And the second part of why that speech that he did was so important, and I remember I watched it that night and I was like, whoa. I might have texted you, this might have been historic.
Yeah, you did, and I agree with you. I do think that was a historic speech because of
It's weird that these people think Tucker Carlson gave a historic speech. Nobody's going to give a fuck about Tucker Carlson in 100 years, right?
what he was saying out loud that you typically would not, no, not typically, you would never hear at any conservative event, period. You would never hear at a liberal event, period.
Yeah, and there's a couple things here. Like when Trump started noticing the populism, and then in my opinion, he used it as a prop for his own ego,
Cynically,
right?
yep.
Yep, and he misused it. That's why he doesn't release the Epstein files. He does what Israel asked for, gives giant tax breaks to the wealthy.
No. The reason he doesn't release the Epstein files is because he's in the Epstein files, right? Like, that's
He's
why.
redacted from them too.
It's not because he's a fake populist. Yeah, I know. That's the latest story, is that he just had all his shit taken out. He Jeffersonian Bibled the Epstein files.
True.
It's so ridiculous. He's going to release the list. All right, Ghislaine, tell us all who's on the list. Release the names. Number 1, Obama. Like, number 2, Clinton. Number 3, Biden.
Wealthy while cutting Medicaid and SNAP, et cetera, right? But he was the first one to realize, oh, don't go establishment, don't go elites, go towards populism, whether you mean it or not. But for a lot of populists,
No. Donald Trump was not the first populist.
these are real problems. These are not props. These are not
He's like a recent populist, but he was not the first populist.
things that people are using cynically. Now, in terms of Tucker, I don't cynical or not cynical. I have no freaking idea, right? If you told me Tucker's
You don't think Tucker Carlson is a cynical actor? He's proven in court to have knowingly lied about stealing the election for Donald Trump, right? Or for Joe Biden, I mean, away from Trump. The reason he got fired from Fox was he got fucking sources, everybody. The reason he got fired from Fox, he cost them millions of dollars because they were sued by, what's the name of the fucking company that did Dominion, the Dominion voting machines, right? Because he told lies about them that he knew were lies on his show. So he is a cynical actor, you dipshit. Like, how many fucking times do you need to, like, he's a fascist. He's a fascist collaborator. He lied for the fascists. That's how these people use populism. But really, you guys, Trump's the fake populist, but Tucker's the real populist. Dumbass.
is 100% cynical. He's using it in the same way as Trump. I would say, okay, I believe you. I wouldn't be like shocked by that. No, really? On the other hand, here's what I really care about. And this is why I believe in populism from the left. I want these things done,
Yeah.
right? If someone lowers drug prices,
Yeah, but they're not going to, like, no. Actually, you know what? Fuck you. What I was going to say is, but they're not going to do it because they're lying or whatever. But I don't even care. No, it's not worth it. Okay, having a fascist in office who's going to deport people without due process and commit genocide and ethnically cleanse, who's going to lock people up, who's going to crash the economy on a whim, who's going to censor and destroy the media infrastructure and come after our rights, who's going to deploy the military in the streets of Los Angeles against American citizens. That's not worth it. That's not worth whatever you think the goals of populism are. It's not. That part of it matters, right? It matters that we have, free healthcare is nice. You know what's not cool? Free healthcare and death camps also, right? That's not acceptable. That's worse. So it does matter who you ally yourself with. For you have no reason in the world to even believe any of these assholes, right? Because they've been proven to lie, fucking lie after lie after lie after lie after fucking lie. And for whatever reason, this sorry piece of shit on the screen who can't even run a business without taking corrupt crypto money from Peter Thiel wants to gaslight you into saying, like, you know what, really, fucking Tucker is Schrodinger's fascist. We don't know if he's authentic or not. We do know. We've seen this before. We know who Tucker is. And we know what right-wing populism is. It looks like immigrants in CCOT and Alligator Alcatraz. That's what right-wing populism is.
I don't care what their reasoning was. And I don't care if they're fake or real, because the policy itself is real. Pass me a law that says that we don't have to pay these outrageous drug prices without negotiating in a free market. And then if somebody tells me, yeah, but you did it for an evil purpose, I don't care.
You're an idiot because that's not what it's not like, oh, this one good thing they did, that was actually secretly evil. No, it's that one good thing they did also comes with the side of 100 other evil things. You don't ally yourself with fascists. God, he's such an idiot.
Okay, I just want that bill passed. I want lower housing prices. And I do care if they use it for other evil purposes in the real world, right? But don't tell me they haven't done that, but they're super evil, so we can't agree with them when they're agreeing with us. And look, we've been here the whole time.
These fucking mental gymnastics are nuts. This is fucking... Don't trust this person to give you the news, right? Don't trust this person to give you, like, legitimate, reasonable analysis.
Time. Left-wing populists have been anti-war, anti-corruption, and for the average American from day one. So if the populist right is now coming to our side,
no, because Tucker's not anti-corruption, right? Because he tried to help Trump steal the election, right? He perpetrated the big lie knowingly. So he's not what you're saying. He's not a legitimate truth teller. He's one of the fascists.
But one of the main reasons why I decided to go on his podcast is because I'm curious about him, right? Like, we see him in the media, we hear what he has to say. But he lives in rural Maine. It is as rural as it gets. He employs locals. He lives pretty modestly considering how unbelievably wealthy he is. I mean, not only was his biological mother wealthy, his adoptive mother was also incredibly wealthy, you know, an heir to the Swanson fortune. And he lives in a rural part of the country in a modest home. Like, it just, you would expect him to live in like a mega mansion in Beverly Hills.
Now look, I don't know if fucking Tucker's evil or not. He might be genuine. Let me tell you, Cenk, I just wanted to experience Tucker for myself. He's a real humble, down-to-earth, modest guy. He's rich as shit. You would expect him to live in a giant mansion in Beverly Hills, but he lives like Stephen King in fucking Maine. He's a really humble guy. He's down-to-earth and relatable. Fuck this. This is propaganda.
After we did the episode, you know, just like any other show, his team clipped out specific videos from our conversation. And one of the videos that got published is the following. Let's take a look at a graphic. This is what the thumbnail looks like. It quotes me. He is going to run, right? Because I said that I think he's going to run. And I wanted to watch it and see, you know, if there was any editing in it. And they did include a clip from his Turning Point USA speech in the context of this clip. So I want you to take a look at it so you know what I'm talking about.
The speech you gave at Turning Point.
Good. Let's see what the speech is. This is what made them true believers in Tucker Carlson's brilliant political skills.
You said a few things in there that I might not agree with, but like the overall message was so courageous, and I never thought in a million years I would hear it at a conservative conference.
So courageous.
At some point, I want to look around and see a better country. I want to see a country I recognize. I don't want to see people sleeping on the sidewalk. I don't see people ODing on drugs. I want to know where those drugs coming from.
Wait, that's so courageous to say at a conservative. So courageous to say at a conservative conference. I don't want to see, like, fuck homeless people and fuck drug users, right? I don't want to see that shit. That's a very conservative talking point. That's all I'm saying, right?
Why can't you stop it? You've got the U.S. military. Don't you have SEAL Team 6? Like, what are they doing today?
Yeah, can't we send in the military to round up the homeless people and take care of it? What?
Don't you have Delta?
This is a courageous thing to say at Turning Point USA.
Forrest, you could give me another segment about how impressive the U.S. military is? I believe you. Why aren't they employed to make my country better?
Why aren't they in the streets rounding up homeless people? This is funny because Trump just passed some law too about that, where now they can round up homeless people. So we're actually getting the world that Tucker Carlson wants. That'll be in the sources, everybody. So check that out.
Why are my cities disgusting? I don't want to go there. It smells like weed and halal food. And you're lecturing.
Is that racist? Like, what's wrong with halal food, right? And first of all, weed is delicious. It smells amazing.
It's an anti-Islam sentiment.
Yeah, I guess so.
Me about how it's a great moral victory that I kicked the boys off the girls' socks. Good, I'm so glad. But let's do the real stuff, like making
saying a bunch of kosher food.
This is ridiculous. This is conservative dog whistles about militarizing this, you know, militarizing homelessness, right? Like cracking down on homelessness with the military, and also fuck stoners and fuck Muslims.
And create an economy where my kids can have kids. How about this? How about we just make the measure really super simple? Can my children have, without the benefit of like the great luck I have had, can they have a roughly approximate life that I had? Or how about just a middle class life?
You know, the kind of speech that you gave.
That's it. That's what we're so. That's what was so courageous to say at a conservative conference. This is so pathetic. This is so pathetic.
It wouldn't have happened 5 years ago.
What provoked him to give that speech, that specific speech? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And by the way, I like the smell of halal food. Like, I don't mind that at all. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
So look, that's where he's populist right-wing, right? He says obnoxious things like the smell of halal food, like as if that's some sort of terrible thing, right? But if you notice, he also did say minimize trans issues. So that's him powering down on the culture wars. Because it's not like he hasn't powered up. I mean, it's not like he's...
Okay, bro. Homelessness and halal food and drugs are also part of the culture war.
Not the one that did the M&M segments and a million other segments, right? So, and when in the conversation with Ana, he said many times that he had apologized for some of his past positions. I don't know which positions. I don't know which ones.
He has. In researching and listening to episode after episode of his podcast, he does denounce himself on specific things that he has said in the past that he regrets.
Yeah. So, but the reason why I thought the speech was important...
Can we get an example of one of those things, Ana? You've done such a good job showing us clips, you know?
Not because of the colossal, it's because he is breaking the mythology that both mainstream media, which same mythology we break from the left,
he's a maverick trailblazer who defies all, you know, he's gonna invert the rules of how things are supposed to work.
Israel's, again, I'll use Israel first and then the corporate guys. Israel's our special ally. Anyone who criticizes him is an anti-Semite and a hateful person. And we all owe them another $300 billion. They owe us nothing, et cetera, et cetera. And like all of this propaganda that everybody in Washington takes as a given. It's not a given. It's all lies.
Bro, are you trying to say that like you're the only ones who have been speaking out against the genocide this whole time? That's not true. There have been most people on the left, most leftists on YouTube have been speaking out against the genocide since it began. It's not something you've done exclusively. You're not breaking the mold. That's a very standard position in our circles, you know? Like,
the reason why Ana said I've never seen a Republican give a speech like that, sure on Israel, but both parties suck on Israel, right? But when you're talking about actually caring about the average American, in my whole life, why am I on the left?
Is that what you got from that speech?
Because Republicans have been like, oh my God, we got to take care of these poor billionaires. They just haven't gotten enough tax cuts and loopholes and deregulation. And they almost never talk about the average guy, right? Well, it's like they'll say, oh, we're giving small business a tax break. And you'll find out 1% of it applies to small business, 99% applies to giant businesses. So lip service.
Yeah, like the beautiful big bill, right? Or the tax cuts in 2017 in Trump's first term.
Pretending to care about small business, but always serving corporations, always serving the donors. And that was not the speech that Tucker gave. Now you say, well, is he for real or not? Well, we're going to find out maybe if Ana and I are.
Yeah, we already have evidence of what he really is.
Right? We might find out in the 2028 primaries, right? So, and then of course, you never find out until they're actually
Why
in
is
office.
this taking so long?
In that case, I would say, God forbid, because I want somebody who's on the populist left to win, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
But is he going to have a better chance than some of the people that establishment media is propping up?
Yes, I think so.
Like Tom Cotton and Marco Rubio. And mainstream media's like, oh, we're after the spell breaks and we get rid of Trump and MAGA, we'll go right back to the boy, Marco Rubio. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
His competition is
Cenk is such a cartoon character, dude.
Vance in the primaries.
Yeah. So no, and Hawley. Okay.
And Hawley.
No, definitely Josh Hawley. Okay. So like all the corporate guys are goners. They just don't know it. It's like in Kill Bill when they do that 5-point thing on your heart and you don't know it, but you walk away and then your heart explodes. All their careers have already exploded. They just don't know it because they're surrounded.
How dare you talk about Kill Bill, the best Quentin Tarantino movies? You son of a bitch. You keep Kill Bill out of your mouth.
By goofballs in mainstream media. Oh yeah, Marco, you might win. No one MAGA wants. None of the Trump voters want Marco Rubio and neocons and like Tom Cotton. Okay.
We've reached the point of the video where I'm like, I'm so fucking desperate for it to be over. Like, I just need this to end. Oh my God.
Hawley's gonna have a real go at it, but the problem
part
is
of me needs
Trump,
this to be over.
And that's an albatross around his neck. He just cut 12 million people off of Medicaid. He's I don't want to. He said before and after the bill, but brother, you voted for it. Yep. So then of course JD Vance. JD Vance is a snake. Okay. So and you could say Tucker's a snake, and I'm super worried about it. I'm worried about all of them. Okay. But at least
right. Historically though, Tucker is a snake.
But then what I would say is if you're right, Tucker's a more sophisticated one. Because Vance is kind of obvious. He took $10 million from Peter Thiel.
Yep.
He was in...
How much money did you take from Peter Thiel, Cenk? How much money did Polymarket give to you for your Polymarket studio deal last year? Did you really just say, this guy took money from Peter Thiel, he can't be trusted? He did a Jubilee 1 verse 20. I don't think it's out yet, but maybe we should watch that.
Did you know that Vance just went and had a secret meeting with the Murdochs in Montana? They did not record it in the in the places they were supposed to record it.
Wait. The Murdochs. who Trump is super furious at right now?
Yes.
Those Murdochs?
And it was right before the Wall Street Journal printed their story about Trump and Epstein.
It was right before.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Look, that can go in two different directions. One, they could be giving advance word to Vance, and then he goes and tells Trump. That's the benign, from Republican point of view, the benign explanation.
Right.
Not for us, but for the Republicans, right? The other possibility is, brother, Trump already passed the tax cuts. We're done with them.
Oh God, politics is so dirty.
Yeah.
So dirty.
You guys are just making this up. You have no idea. This is all just wishful thinking, unfounded conjecture, no evidence of anything. There are a number of things they could have discussed.
You're batter up.
Yeah.
We're afraid they're going to find out the Epstein files are Mossad, so we're going to dump it on Trump. So get ready, okay?
Wow.
Here, I'm calling in JD from the bullpen, right? I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know, right? You have no idea. This is Alex Jones level shit.
Oh, there's no way of knowing what was in their secret meeting. That has not been leaked, but they
We
definitely
don't
had
know.
that meeting, and that is clear. So there's a lot of people with tons of baggage. Can Tucker
Anyways, not to defend JD Vance. He's way worse than Cenk Uygur is, but
afford mansions? Well, of course he can. He can afford 8 mansions, right? He's living in rural Maine, either because he wants to, or that is what I would do if I was going to run for Republican primary in 2028, right?
As a populist.
As a populist,
Stephen
right?
King for.
So
yeah, has he lived in rural Maine his entire life? Did he move there to run?
whether you believe him or not, he has figured out what the right problems are, not necessarily the right solutions, but the right problems, right? And he has figured out that populism is the correct path. So if you're worried about Tucker, then you should be doubly worried, right?
Because he's also incredibly smart. Say what you will about him, he is smart, he is strategic, and for the left, I mean, you look at the landscape on the Democratic side.
Jon Stewart needs to finish the job, do it quick, before Ana gets Tucker Carlson elected.
The names that are popping up do not inspire much confidence, and I mean, the left should be worried about that. I mean, who's going to run?
No, yeah. So guys, this is why I keep telling you, you got to join the rebellion. You got to make sure those rebellion PAC candidates win, so we can win in red districts and have the credibility to run the right candidate in the Democratic primary in 2028. If you run a corporate robot against Tucker, we're going to get mauled.
Slaughtered.
I'm giving you that not as a hey, that's great. I'm giving you that as a warning. Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Because I know Democrats and Democratic ass kissers, they'll be like, oh, you told us Tucker might win, and so that means you wanted it. No, I'm warning. Do not run a Kamala Harris type of person against a sophisticated populist. You will get destroyed.
I think Newsom could take it, honestly. Newsom's a fine candidate. I'm not the biggest Newsom fan in the world, but he's handled Trump's presidency very well. Podcast misstep notwithstanding. He's done he's handled this LA thing as he should.
If it wasn't for Trump, I would still despise him entirely. If it was for Trump, more recent actions where he's where Newsom is taking a stand now.
I've gone back and forth on him so many times.
Yeah, it's like whiplash on how you feel about Newsom. But lately with Newsom's doing, I'm like, holy shit. I wish I was still in LA.
Yeah.
Just for that moment.
Yeah.
Well, no, you have.
I don't, but.
Would you have protested with me? Would you have gone with us to the protest?
Yes.
Dope.
Even if you're like a Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden loving Democrat, if you pick one of them, it's a guaranteed loss to Tucker Carlson. But if you don't want to lose, you have to pick a Bernie-style candidate. And yes, I think that there are. I think Ro Khanna, Jon Stewart. I think there's some really interesting choices. Okay, and we'll have those conversations. We'll have those debates. But if you say no, there's a great governor, there's a great senator, former cabinet secretary, and my God, they have so much money they can compete with them. Remember, Hillary and Kamala had way more money than Donald Trump.
Okay, the first part of this was like a Tucker Carlson puff piece, followed by everyone look out, Tucker's gonna run. Is he genuine? Maybe. Who cares? This is stupid. Whatever. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Wow. The Young Turks continues to be terrible. I'm excited to see Jenks 1v20. He might be the first person on the left to actually lose one of those, I think. So that would be interesting. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. There's something very artificial about this. Very, very contrived and facetious, I guess. In my mind,
my opinion of Cenk has not been great lately, and Ana, it's been even worse. And them taking Peter Thiel money is obviously a bad thing. So my neutrality towards them, my apathy towards them has just been off that to low.
Nice. All right, fuck these guys.
Fuck them. Burn them all.